He passed away. That loss redirected me. My whole life truly has been breadcrumbs. I experienced 2 miscarriages.
Welcome to the Breadcrumb Effect podcast,
where we interview interesting people with a story to tell
and share what breadcrumbs they picked up along the way. I'm Dani.
And I'm Brittany.
Welcome to the Breadcrumb Effect.
Welcome to the Breadcrumb Effect. Today we're joined by Angela, who is a mom and a wife working full-time in the corporate world, but still makes time to read bangers on the side. She is the creator of the digital magazine, The Renewal Reader, helping women healing quietly who are ready for their inner comeback. She is loud in her journey and invites others to join the ride. Let's dive into her breadcrumbs.
Welcome, Angela, to the Breadcrumb Effect. We are so excited that you're on. We feel like we already know you. This has been such an honor to have you on.
Thank you both, Dani and Brittany. I am so happy to be here. I love what you both are doing. You're rocking it.
This is our first time actually talking face to face.
It is, yeah. But I know we've had many conversations on Instagram and definitely have connected there. So this is a pleasure, diving deeper into who we are. So
on Instagram, we see a piece of us. We see what we want to show, right? Mm-hmm. So we're going to use this time to dive deeper. We want to know more about who you are, your history, what's gotten you where you're at today. I know that you're a successful career girly. You've got your family and also had a painful journey to get to where you're at today. So I want you to share whatever you're comfortable sharing. We want to hear more about your Bookstagram, but we really want to hear about your magazine too.
I'm here to share all of that. I've always had I love open conversation, the vulnerability, and just sharing where we came from. I just think we all are going through something. So once we talk about it, there's so many more people that can relate.
We have already found that, in almost every episode, we've had somebody either cry, no pressure, or, laugh. It's been the whole range of emotion, because the whole point of us telling these stories is, you're right, we're hoping listeners feel that they feel heard or it's relatable. And we've all had some sort of pain in our lives. And so if we can share how we've gone through it or we're going through it, it's only just going to help others.
Yep, I agree.
So where on the East Coast are you?
Yeah, so I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm in Delaware County. I'm a Delco girly. A lot of folks know us as being right outside of Philadelphia. Go Eagles. So yeah, I've lived here my whole life, small town. My husband, who's also from the same town. So we have 2 sons, Nicholas and Lewis, 11 and 13. They keep us on our toes. And yeah, I work full-time in corporate. So a lot of different things happening, and then of course my Bookstagram on the side, which is, my creative outlet.
You mentioned creative outlet, and I feel that everyone that we have spoken with has or wants to have or needs to have a creative outlet. So I want to get into your career a little bit too, but I'd love to know how your creative outlet came about and what was calling you to start that?
So I've always had to have a creative outlet, and, just going to the breadcrumbs, right? It was always a loss that happened in my life that redirected me to reinvent myself, recreate myself. And I didn't do that by choice. I was forced to. So if we kind of want to go backwards a little bit of where I really leaned into creativity it was really just in 2018. So in 2018, I started hosting vision board workshops. So that was my creative outlet of understanding law of attraction, vision boarding, and I started a business. So this was after I experienced 2 miscarriages. So that was where, I took a loss. I turned that grief into something bigger. So in 2018, I started those vision board workshops working with small businesses. I worked with a women's shelter. I made vision board kits. I really was putting it out there for people to use law of attraction in their life. And this goes back to providing magazines. Like, I brought all of the materials to these workshops, loads and containers of magazines, canvas boards, glue, everything that you needed to be successful in vision board workshops. So that was where I really leaned into my creative outlet. I only did that till about a little bit after COVID. Once COVID hit, I had to juggle my kids being at home, me working virtually, which I never have done prior. And then I kind of was burnt out. So I stopped. I gave myself a little bit of a break. And then there was another loss that happened. The biggest loss that really happened in our lives. My brother Anthony, he passed away in 2021. So that loss redirected me again, made me reinvent myself. Not that I wanted to, but I had to channel my grief into something else. So, so it was about 4 months after my brother passed. I was sitting there. I was reading at this time. I really did get back into reading after COVID. And I'm looking at my phone, going through my photos, and I'm like, wait, I have so many pictures of books. Let's do something with this. Like, I need to talk about what I go through. And honestly, having open forums and just being vulnerable and sharing has really helped heal me. So I was like, let's go into Bookstagram. Why not? I'm one that follows my intuition. When I feel that nudge, I believe in it. And I just created my Bookstagram, and it really helped me turn grief into a community. And that's what we're doing now. My platform is larger than I thought that it would even be. I've been doing this for a few years. But not that it's about the numbers, but it's just about the people that I've met, the healing that has really helped me in creating, even if it's a reel, right? Just putting my voice and putting my emotions and my feelings into content has helped me. But of course, the reading. I like to say, I always say, for me, reading is greater than or equal to therapy. And that's just in my experience. I tried the therapy route of the traditional talking to someone. And for me, it just wasn't it, And I'm not saying I would never try that again, but I have found in this moment, what's helping me at this moment is reading and sharing and creating in my digital magazine, which is where I now created this digital magazine. It's called the Renewal Reader. It's a seasonal digital magazine. It's a free download where I'm pretty much just taking content that I may have on my page and sharing it in a different format that may reach people that aren't seeing it on Instagram, that may not have that platform. And it's really for readers who may be healing through something or going through something, and they're ready for that inner comeback, because I'm very loud about my healing journey. And it's just been it's been helpful, it's been amazing. And I love connecting with others through the journey.
Wow. Angela, I just have to say thank you for your vulnerability and sharing that. I mean, I literally I feel like my heart is beating fast for you right now.
Well,
You said something you said two things that were really interesting to me. You said you wanted to turn your grief into something else, which, wow, because when you're going through something like that, you don't always think about that, right? You're thinking internally, hey, this happened to me. I'm suffering a loss, but you're kind of, in both instances, you turned your grief to helping others. And I have to wonder, and I don't know if this is the right question to ask, but when you were growing up in your household, did you talk about your feelings a lot? Were you always loud and sharing things? Because in some families, you kind of, shove it under the rug when you're going through something.
Yeah, I was not one to share my emotions loudly. No. That's a great question. I wasn't. And not that I couldn't, not that I was told I couldn't express myself or, I was held back in any way. But I think that that's just what I chose. Maybe that's what felt the safest at that time. And, as you get older, you build the confidence. I'm turning 40 next week. And I think confidence really helps. Yeah, thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. But like confidence comes with time, it comes with experience, it comes with the people that you surround yourself with,
What I like is your voice is coming through your creativity, and it is very full circle what we're hearing. You delivering these magazines for other people to use their hands and clip and create things to impact in their own life. And then here you are using your voice to create a magazine to only make that a full circle, and it's impacting your life positively. It's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a journey for sure. But I really feel like, how I talked about in 2018 doing those vision board workshops, there were breadcrumbs there. Like my whole life truly has been breadcrumbs. Like during that time of doing the vision board workshops, I was so heavily involved in like self-development, self-growth, through podcasts, through books, that when my brother passed away and I was, our whole world was turned upside down, I do believe that I was so deep into like the self-development part that it was like preparing me somehow for this loss. And I think about that a lot. Like if I didn't have that, positivity, that the mental state, and like being strong mentally and physically, emotionally, I would have never survived, the way that I think I am now, and as a mom having sons, like I didn't have a choice. Like the world does not stop when you have tragedy in life. And that honestly is the hardest part. So I knew I had to be a light. I knew that I had to find something that was going to keep me afloat for them. So, it really has helped.
I'm so glad that it's like these breadcrumbs were planted within you. I like that you use the word vision boarding and law of attraction, and that's why we did a whole 3-part series on that, because we're also believers and we know that it works and it has, and we just wanted to continue helping people. So I hope people hearing your story as well, they know that they can also have that positive impact with their own lives. With that, I learned a new word, and I hope I'm saying it right. It's synchronicity, which is something that it's like a theme or a word that continues to pop up within your life in a given period of time, right? So for example, you might be reading one book, and this happens to me quite a bit, where I'll hear a word and then that word will pop up in several books in a row. But I would like to hear if that concept has happened for you, but with your brother. Like, has that happened within your reading or with the magazine that you've put out?
Yeah, I'd never heard of that word. So that's really cool. Thanks for sharing that. I know that I read a lot of books with grief, and I don't think I do it on purpose, but I love literary fiction, and literary fiction seems to have grief in them. Almost all of them, I feel like. But that's my favorite genre. Reading has been part of my healing journey. It helps me have more empathy. It helps me, not feel alone, less alone. It really helps me like understand how other people are coping. Maybe there's ways that I can implement that in my life. So that's the first thing that comes to mind. So not a specific word, but a theme.
Your breadcrumbs are kind of fulfilled by grief. Grief happened. That was your breadcrumb moment was, the loss of babies, right? Miscarriages. And then that kind of ignited something within you for the workshops and everything, and manifesting and vision boards. And then you had a very tragic loss of your brother, another breadcrumb in your life that kind of caused you to start this magazine and this path, which might have never happened. So breadcrumbs, sometimes we think of a breadcrumb as like, oh, something cool that happened, but it's not always that. It can come from tragedy.
Yes. And I haven't really thought of that either. Just because when you think of it just like internally, it really has been losses that like made me reinvent myself time and time again.
In part of our preheating, Brittany and I are interviewing each other, and we hadn't even realized that we had lost babies as well at the exact same time. So we both feel your pain and how it just sucks.
Sucks. And I'm so sorry you both had to go through that too. That's very difficult. And it doesn't matter how far along you are. It doesn't matter. It's a loss is a loss.
For us, our rainbow babies are the ones that brought us together. So we thought, but it was really the babies we lost that we had no idea that wouldn't have had the other babies if not. And we met because our girls are friends.
And they were born the same month, same year.
That is beautiful. I love that.
So I would like to hear, if maybe off the top of your head, because I know that you're good about book recommendations, maybe your top 2 or 3 books on grief that you recommend to some listeners.
Absolutely. Right here. Gosh, there's a lot. The ones that I don't actually have physical copies of, because really 99% of my books I borrow from the library. I am a huge library advocate. I'm all about getting that library card, using the resources that your taxes are paying for, right? And saving space and money. So books that aren't shown here about grief would be Blue Sisters, great book there. I would say The Wedding People. I do love The Wedding People. There's a little bit of grief there. But my favorite, highly recommend Remarkably Bright Creatures. This is being turned into a movie. This is one of my favorite books. And I know I read this at the right time because it's really about a woman and an octopus. Out of all, an octopus named Marcellus. And he's my favorite fictional character. I don't want to spoil anything, but please read this.
They're on my TBR, so I might need to bump those up pretty quickly.
Okay, definitely. 10 out of 10. Now, this one is very underrated, in my opinion. Very heavy on grief, very heavy on art, and really like having that creative outlet. So this is You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty. I do not want to pronounce her name incorrectly. She is on Instagram, but I love this. Cover is like beautiful, and look at the edges. Wow. Yeah, so this one you do not see a lot of, but highly recommend. So
also I like seeing sprayed edges outside of the fantasy genre. Like, let's just say that.
That's very true. So they're my recommendations.
I was wondering, you mentioned a lot about community and how like talking about your grief has obviously helped you and many others. I think too often we don't talk about our grief because either we don't feel comfortable enough doing it, or especially if maybe we haven't experienced that grief, we don't know how to talk to the other person and we don't know what kind of space to allow for them. So my question would be like, what would you say to someone? I feel like it's easier to relate with someone who's gone through it, but maybe someone who hasn't gone through a major death in their life, how would you want your friends to show up for you, and what advice would you give for them to like continue to show up? Because even guys, I feel that someone dies and you maybe get some sympathy for a month or two, and then people kind of like, hey, I don't want to bring it up, I don't want to talk about it, but it's helpful to talk about it. So I need your advice.
You may have a loss, and right away you may have a lot of people that are there for you, right? And it's a beautiful thing, and it's something that you never forget. You never forget who showed up. You never forget who showed up at the funeral, and you'll never forget who didn't show up at the funeral, right? So what happens down the line is people will fall off, right? They're not going to maybe check on you as often, but that's life. We're all busy. We all have different priorities, okay? But one thing that I think really goes a long way is just send a text. Hey, thinking of you. It's very low maintenance, right? send a simple text. When they come to mind, I always say, when someone comes to mind, no matter what, send them a text to say hi, because there's a reason why that person came into your brain, right? And I never really thought of that until after, my brother passed. So it really is just sending that text. It doesn't have to be like, oh, we have to meet up for lunch. That's a lot to ask of somebody, but just the check-in goes a really long way.
The check-in with no expectation that they need to respond.
Right. It's just exactly. You're absolutely correct. Just putting it out there, sending it, and letting it just sit. Absolutely.
Low maintenance. It reduces the pressure on both ends. It's just you're putting it out there and they probably appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear how after these multiple losses and you being, you having a career, how has that made you show up differently at work?
So I've been at my career for 18 years.
Here's the deal. Your body is smarter than your mind thinks. Your subconscious is constantly running on default, sending you signals about what's right for you. But most of us ignore them, me included. Now, you don't have to. Dr. Kell, who you may remember from our manifesting episode, created an online course called Are You in Alignment with Your Dreams? This course teaches the dream alignment technique, a body-based method that literally turns your body into a GPS for life. Before making any choice, a diet, a job, a date, or even a big life move, you can test your mind, heart, high heart, and gut. If all four say yes, you're in alignment. If something's off, your body tells you instantly. No guessing, no overthinking, just real-time feedback from your body's intelligence. And here's the kicker. It works for everything. If you're wondering if that party is a good idea, test it. Which meal plan actually fits you? Test it. Launching a business? Test it. And if something isn't aligned, the course shows you exactly how to clear the mental and emotional blocks holding you back, so you can move forward with clarity, confidence, and no resistance. This is the part neuroscience backs up. When your body, heart, and mind are in sync, your brain releases dopamine and oxytocin, and suddenly decisions feel effortless, inspiration flows, and you're magnetically moving toward what you really want. And the best part? Our listeners get 10% off of all of Dr. Kell's products, not just this course. Use the code breadcrumbs10 at checkout. That's breadcrumbs with an S, 10 at checkout. If you've been following the breadcrumbs from the universe, this is how you verify them. Trust yourself and finally take action that actually feels right. This isn't just a course. It's your personal GPS, your clarity tool, and really your shortcut to making choices that align with your dreams. So remember, breadcrumbs10 at checkout. Feel free to go to the link in our show notes, or you can go to Linktree/Dr. Kelly, that's Dr.Kelley.
I've been at my career for 18 years, the same company, which has always been very supportive and really, like, I love what I do. I have changed positions within the company numerous times, but what I can say is, after the loss, yes, the company was supportive, but you also can't be away from work that long. Like, I was only away from work for maybe 2 weeks. That's all that I had, right? Because you have to use your own time. I didn't have the opportunity. I could have went on FMLA, by law, you can do that for maybe 6 months or so, but you don't get paid. And I thought about just doing that, for the 6 months, but I know myself, and I knew that all I would be doing anyway is sitting home on the couch, just, thoughts going crazy, because I know myself. That is not the headspace I wanted to be in. So I am one that likes to stay active and moving. So I returned back to work, which was still virtual at that time, which was really, really nice. As time went on, I knew that I did not want to commute into the city of Philadelphia every day because I wanted to be more present. I didn't want to be as far away from home, as my kids are in school. I wanted something closer to home and maybe a little less taxing. So I did find a new position within the company that was a little bit more laid back, closer to home, because my priorities changed. I did not want to keep climbing up the ladder because that is not what is important to me. It really is about being present, being closer to home, and still having a career that I love, but I have to have room for a side, for like my side creative outlet. So really a lot of the rethinking went into a job position that wasn't so demanding. And I did make that happen. And that took strategy, that took visualization, that took manifesting energy for sure.
I like that it was a priority shift because sometimes it's no longer about what you can do. You know, you could go for more. You're capable of going for more, but sometimes it's more empowering to know that you can and choosing not to.
Oh my gosh, you're so right. It is very empowering. It's so empowering to say, no, thank you, but no, thank you for those opportunities. Because I did, I was able to say, just right now isn't the right time. So you're right. It's very empowering. And, in the future, if an opportunity came up and I felt like I was in a different space in my life, maybe it will be there. Opportunities come all the time, right? Like when we're open to them, they flow in.
That's true. When we asked Mel Robbins about breadcrumbs in her own life, what I love about what she said is exactly what you just said. When you open up something into the universe, you state what you want, you declare what you want, or you create the vision board, you then start seeing it everywhere. The signs, things start falling in your lap. Or one of the books we recently recommended was Designing Your Life. It doesn't have a name for this phenomenon, but even these scientists from Stanford state in the book, you state it, things just, you'll be at an airport and you'll see the person that's the hiring manager. It's like, there's no way to explain how it happens. It just does.
Yes, it's I love that. And I think it's always something to move with in life, like just knowing the possibilities, right? Like just knowing that can happen at any time. Expect miracles, right? Like we always hear that. That's something that I try to tell myself all the time. Expect miracles. So I love that.
So junk journaling shows up on your Bookstagram. So did that come before vision boarding? Has that always been something that you've done? And, or, what came first basically? And then for those listeners that maybe don't know, what is junk journaling?
Yeah. So junk journaling came after the vision boards. In 2020, I was introduced to junk journaling, and I will give her a shout out. She's at Thrifty Day. That's how I was introduced to it. Junk journaling is basically scrapbooking's younger sister. So you're saving things that normally would be trash. So you have like your concert tickets, maybe receipts from going out to dinner. It could even be like things that your kids make. Some of it we throw in the trash, right? But some of it we really want to keep. So you can put it into your journal. Very easy, simple tools that you need: glue, scissors, tape. And then you just write about it. So and now, like I said, I'm turning 40 and I'm on my 8th junk journal. And what I've been doing recently is going through the last 7, and I'm just like, wow, like I'm able to capture what my 30s looked like and like where I'm heading. So it's been so nice to look back on. So that's a huge creative outlet. And really, I'm looking at it as being something my kids can have later on, something that will help them not forget where they came from, and just regular day mundane things that we do. They can look at it and be like, oh, my parents did this with me. Like, oh, me and my brother did this together. Because my biggest thing right now is just making sure that they keep a close relationship. My sons are very close. They have like the same group of friends, and that may not always stay like that, but I want them to always remember to like be there for each other first and always have each other's back. So I just hope that these junk journals help them remember who they are. So it's been really fun. Another like low maintenance, type of craft, because you're using things that are just, laying around and coming into your life.
This is cool. Like, you write about it, or do you have them have their own junk journal too?
No, I've only do it, and I write about it from my perspective. But you're onto something, Brittany. That may be something we should start doing with our kids,
Yeah.
But maybe, like, even if we just start it, as parents, we hope that maybe we'll influence them to maybe do that later on.
I like that you're giving them something that they'll be able to cherish later on. They won't probably understand now how much it means to have that, but at some point they will. And the other thing that I like about that is it's not a digital footprint, right? Like, yes, we met and you're here because of the digital footprint, and we're able to reach listeners because of the digital footprint, but that's not always the priority in life, right? Like, what is most important in our life is our relationships, our family, our physical relationships. So what I like about that is it's a physical thing that you're doing. It's tangible. You see it, you hold it, you have it, you give it. And so I like that.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mentioned Thrifty Day. I used to purchase the books that she created because they were very like vintage, taking children's books, little golden books, like Disney specifically.
Yeah.
She would take them and take all the pages out and use the front page of the book and the back and stuff it with everything that she wanted to create. And then I would purchase it from her. And I mean, they're beautiful, but I was like, you know what? I can probably start doing this like with my uniqueness, So I ended up getting like $1.25 composition book, and I use that now, like I use magazines. I use magazines to cover like the white pages of the book, with whatever's calling me, paste it on with a glue stick, and then add my junk to it. So there's just so many ways that you can do it.
This is a really cool concept because, and to your point, Dani, what you were saying is like having something tangible that when you are gone and when you do leave this earth, that they have something as a reminder. And there's something about your parents or grandparents or family members' handwriting. I don't know what it is, but when you read something that they wrote like physically on paper, exactly. I still see stuff from my grandma who passed away over 10 years ago, and I'm like, oh, Nina wrote this. Like, it can be something so silly too. Like, just this was a book for you because I love you. And I'm like, this is amazing. So I love this junk journal idea, and I'm fucking doing it.
Oh my God, that's so true.
Like, remember that great text we got? I really cherish that text message. I'm pinning that.
Yes, I know. So yeah, like you had the tattoo, Dani. Like I see a lot of people take like love mom, love dad, and like tattoo that on themselves. And I have that written a lot, so you never know what they'll do with that.
So before we dive into your Renewal Reader magazine, is there anything that you were hoping that we would cover today that we haven't covered yet? Any other piece of advice or any other breadcrumbs that have come out?
I just feel like our life, everything is in hindsight, right? So it's like you never realize what you're being prepared for in the moment. So I think it's very important for us, your listeners, just to like look back, to take some time to like reflect what the past decade has been. And I feel like if you take pen to paper and you just write down like, the accomplishments, the losses, the just everything that comes to mind, there will be a breadcrumb there. Yeah. So, I think we all have it. It's just that sometimes it's hard to see, but I think once you realize it, it gives us more optimism in our life for sure.
Last night, I just texted a picture to Brittany, so I'm going through my phone, deleting photos and videos to free up space, like as we do. Because unfortunately, in these creative ventures, they take up a lot of phone space, as you know. And there is And right, as readers, it's so funny how often we take pictures of like a quote or a page or a cover. And so I had taken a photo of a page from a book I actually didn't like. I ended up giving it to Brittany, which is also funny. Like, I didn't like this. Here, have it. No, but she likes the author. And I took a picture of this page. What?
I was just saying I was excited when you gave it to me.
But I don't even remember taking this photo of a page. And I read the page last night, and it was all about, you know, he was talking about how he doesn't understand people that, like you said, listen to their gut. He's like, I don't understand the people when they don't listen to their gut. You know, they're working in these career jobs. They might be earning $100,000, you know, $300,000 a year, and they have this whisper in the back of their head of this creative venture that they might want to go off on a partner. And he was basically describing what Brittany and I are doing today. And I took this photo 4 years ago. It was wild.
Oh my gosh, I love to hear that.
Brittany.
Yeah, love to hear that. Yep. And that's like confirmation for you that you're on the right path, you know? Yeah,
exactly.
I was just going to say, Angela, you made a really good point, which you had said it earlier, but I don't think we caught it. You mentioned that, you know, breadcrumbs or life in general is, you know, hindsight is 2020. There's a reason that's a saying. And you mentioned that you are about to turn 40 and you're going through your junk journal and seeing, okay, what has happened in the past decade of my life? And what's so funny about that is it was on my birthday last year. I went to Town Lake, which is like a lake that you can walk around here in Austin. And I was a little in my feelings because we were building a house and it was just like, honestly, hell. Okay. So I was just like, oh my God, this year was like so crappy. I didn't do anything fun. And it was just all about the house. I said, I'm going to go look through my photos. I just sat there. I journaled a little on what I was grateful for. Then I was being a little bitch, honestly. And I was like, oh, I'm mad. So I went through my photos. I realized I did so much fun shit. I was like, you ungrateful little girl. This was a great year. What am I talking about? And then I started journaling more about how grateful I was. But I was like, man, it's so true. We think about the negatives. That's what stays forefront of our mind. Unless we go in and we dig for the good moment.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that, Brittany. Yeah. I mean, we have to create the moments, right? Like we have to really, we're guiding our life. We are the pilot, right? We hear this all the time. It's up to us to keep ourselves on the right direction. It's up to us to find those glimmers of hope and just stay the course. Because, you know, there's a reason why we're all doing what we're doing. You know, it was planted. I do feel like it was, the seeds were planted, and we just have to, you know, keep watering them for sure.
You know, Angela, we know about the Renewal Reader, but for anyone who's listening who doesn't know what it is and doesn't know what it's about, can you kind of share a little bit more about it?
This digital magazine is really for the reader who is going through something. They're healing. They're trying to heal through something, but they're ready for their inner comeback. So I'm using my voice as I am very loud about my healing journey and trying to bring others along with me so that they can heal through what they're going through reading, through creativity, and through community. I've received really great feedback, and I'm just so grateful for the people that have like really jumped into it with me. You know, I had ARC readers, I had, you know, just people provide feedback. Either it was like, hey, you have to fix this, or maybe you want to do this. I'm just so grateful for those people that are, you know, helping me in my journey as well. So you'll get a lot of inspiration. It's a lot of reading inspiration. It's a lot of hope. And it's a lot of you not feeling alone.
This is important.
I was an ARC reader. Or maybe I was an early subscriber. I don't remember, but it's great. I can attest to that.
Thank you so much. No, I appreciate that. It's been really such a fun and healing journey for me, like just creating it.
Amen.
Your Renewal Reader is a breadcrumb for somebody else. Like you're leaving this for future readers, other readers. So it's going to be really neat to see what stories come out of this magazine. But I would like to hear, what are you most proud of about producing it? Maybe what surprised you so far in the journey? And then third, Where are you hoping this goes? And what is your goal for the future of the magazine?
So the goal is continue being consistent. For me right now, it's just continue pushing the content out. The biggest challenge has been finding the time to do the planning of what table of contents will look like. I want it to be something that isn't just about me, because that's another thing. I'm trying to take, not being able to just keep talking about me. I would really want to focus on the community. So I want to make this a little bit more community driven as well. But what I just love that my love of magazines has converted me into being like an editor of one, and this is through Canva. Canva is a great platform to create through. It helped me like build my mailing list. So that is really great, because if Instagram goes down, I can still connect with my people in other ways. That has been really, really nice, and just helps me like mentally know that I can still have some sort of reach. But this is like a free download. I have a link right in my bio on Book Thoughts with Angela on Instagram. Once you put your email in, you get it automatically. It's been really fun. Definitely understanding the logistics and how all of that works has been a challenge, but I love learning new things and technology. So
I have to say to everyone here, because, again, we've been able to see it and experience it, but you mentioned that it's for anyone who's looking for their inner comeback and who is dealing with something. Guys, this is for everyone. Everyone is dealing with something. We all want to come back. We all need an inner comeback. So go download the Renewal Reader.
Everyone's going through something. So, it's not even just like loss. It could be a divorce, a job challenge, just everyone's healing through something, and there will be something there that you can hold on to.
So true. And something that I want to say, and maybe this will bleed into one of our segments, I don't know. This isn't necessarily tied to your magazine, but I think it goes with the theme of it is, our outlook on life and where we're going and the direction that we're going is. Yeah. What I like about your perspective on turning 40 is you're not looking at it like, oh my gosh, I'm turning 40. Like, for one, I can tell that you're very focused on your health. That's very evident in your account. But you also have a very positive outlook to turning 40. And I just think that needs to be noted as well.
Oh, thank you. No, I appreciate that. And I think I have another breadcrumb to share now that we're talking about turning 40. Growing up, I watched Wheel of Fortune faithfully with my grandparents in the living room. So when I found out that they were coming to Philadelphia in September, I just kept seeing it on my Instagram and just kept pushing it off. The day before, I said to my husband, you know what? I think I'm just going to show up. I have vacation time that I need to use. Like, I'm going to take a day off and go. And I did. And I ended up getting a call back, an email with information of a lot of questions. And then I had an on-screen interview. Now you're basically in that contestant pool for like 18 months. They may call you like a week or two before the taping. So one of the things that I said to the producers was, look, I'm going to be 40 this year and I'm not running away from it. It's the year of fun. And the year of fun is what their like theme is for the year on Wheel of Fortune for this season 43. And I'm like, this is the year of fun. I'm not running away from turning 40. I'm really stepping into it and I'm not scared. Like, bring it on. So I wanted to make
goosebumps. It's going to happen.
So right now I'm just waiting for that call. I mean, It just, maybe I will manifest it. I mean, I am ready to get my family onto a plane, fly to LA. I watch it every night. Like, for my kids to see that happen will just be like a dream come true. So
yeah,
we're working that magic. But yeah, so that's the energy that I'm bringing 40. Yeah, that's the energy I'm definitely bringing to 40. Yeah, I think I like getting older. I think the wisdom and just like the life lessons.
Exactly. What I call it is rebranding 40, but I like yours.
I like that.
Fun.
I like that.
Fun.
Yeah. And this may be another, not that I'm losing anything, I'm losing my 30s, right? But that's kind of, if you guys have heard about like a lot of the horror scoops going on right now, last year being like the year of the snake, like shedding. Like right now we're still on like that shedding stage, getting rid of things. And now this year is like the year of the horse. We're still like shedding things. So I'm like, all right, the 30s is over. That's done. Now 40 is this next chapter, a new decade. And I'm so ready for it.
You're not going to be trotting. You're going to be like in a full-on gallop.
That's the plan, Dani. That's the plan.
Everything is energy. And when you have good energy, I think that the world opens up. And Angela, I just have to say, you have badass energy. I'm obsessed.
Oh, thank you, Brittany. No, you do too. You do too. And that's why I know you guys are going to be successful with this podcast. It's really good.
Thank you. Thank you. We just listen, like you said, we listen to our gut, we listen to our voice, and we're just like, let's do it.
That's the way to do it. It's the only way to do it. Because then what happens is you're like, oh, why didn't I just go through with it? That was my thought process of showing up to that audition. Like, if I don't go, like they're in Philly, like I would kick myself,
Exactly.
When they call you, I need you to text us immediately because I want to know.
You probably can't tell us till it airs though, right?
Correct.
Oh.
So I will have to keep my mouth shut for a really long time until a few weeks before air date. But you will be one of the first people to know when I can.
I'm excited for you. It's going to happen.
We'll see. Fingers crossed.
Well, should we do a segment? We have a list of bread themed segments. We don't do every segment in every episode, but we like to throw some in every now and then. So the two that we're going to do today with you, Angela, is carb loading and breaking bread. So first we're going to carb load. Let's fill up on our carbs. And then we're going to end it with breaking bread so we can end it with some gratitude. So let's carb load. What do you have for us?
So carb loading. So right now I'm currently reading, it's called Look Closer. It's a psychological thriller by David Ellis. Now, this is a book that I put back down. I DNF'd it 2 years ago because I just wasn't ready for it, I guess. I'm like, not feeling this. I'm a mood reader. But one of my coworkers really talked me into reading her copy. So I gave that another shot, and I'm so happy that I did. It is full of plot twists. And highly recommend that book if you're into thrillers.
Oh, I can't wait.
I like a good psychological.
Really, really good. Really.
I think there's a lesson in that too, because if I'm new to DNFing, I used to like force my way through it. And now I'm like, life is short, time is short, like, do not finish. Okay. But what I like the lesson there for you is sometimes it's about the mindset. And I know, Brittany, you talk about sometimes when Ella was a baby, you couldn't read all like a psychological thriller or horror, like wasn't your genre, like your favorite genre when she was a baby. But maybe there is a lesson in returning to a genre or a book when you're in a different time in your life.
Yeah. I think that's so true.
No, absolutely.
I feel like, again, life is short. Like, I read it, I got what I need, let's move on. But maybe there's value in rereading. I don't know.
I'm like craving rereading things lately. I'm like, do I just need some nostalgia in my life? Like, what's happening? I don't know. But I'm here for it. I'm trying it. Why not?
I mean, actually, no, I did reread a few books. Like Untamed by Glennon Doyle. I reread that. Such a good one, right? I love her.
That book comes up a lot in this podcast because it is one of our breadcrumbs. Yes, there we go. I've gifted the journal to Brittany.
Yes.
We love quoting that book. So I love that you have it right there in your stack too.
Really good.
What else? More carb loading?
Oh, kids sports. So we're back into it. We're back into the baseball. We're going to be back into soccer soon. So we're getting ourselves ready.
You're busy. You're very busy.
Busy.
How do you do it all? Because My friend was telling me about their like soccer schedule, and I was like, OMG, I'm never going to put Ella in soccer because I don't want to deal with that kind of schedule on the weekend.
It's a lot. I mean, it's really like conquer and divide sometimes. I have two sons, so like one's in baseball, one's in soccer. So we may have to like split up the schedule, and we may not both, me and my husband may not both be able to attend each one, but it is what it is. I think a lot of it is don't overcommit yourself to like the traveling sports. Like it's okay if you have to stay in intramurals a little longer than you thought you had to, right? Like just because all the kids are playing, you know, this team, you don't have to do that as well because everyone's schedule is different. Everyone's workload is different. So I always like don't feel pressured that you have to do the traveling sports.
Thank you.
That's
I needed
really
that,
good
girl.
advice.
Needed it.
It's a lot because we were doing a lot of like baseball traveling. And for me, in my opinion, at this age, you know, when they're like younger, like 9, 11, maybe even younger, like it might just be about the money and not about fun sometimes, in my opinion. So,
Yeah. And then, you know, I don't like when people say it's a work-life balance because it's not a balance. It's always going to be an imbalance. And it's just deciding where it's going to balance at that time. Like, are you going to be a little bit more in there? Like you said, the traveling sports. Am I going to spend a little more time at work because I have a project due? It's an imbalance.
yes, it's an imbalance. And yeah, like even, you know, places will always say, we're all about work-life balance. That doesn't exist. It just does not exist.
That sounds
So-
great, but no, it's
And
not
then,
true.
yeah, and then it's kind of back to creativity. That's why I think creative outlets are even more important because you need to keep your headspace like good and positive. So,
So true.
Yeah.
That's so true. Cool. Okay. So we've talked a lot about your work, your family, your creativity. Let's break some bread together. Let's end this on some gratitude. So, what would you like to break bread about?
yeah. So first, I'm really grateful for both of you for having me on today. Great conversation and just love getting the word out of what we're all doing. You know, we never know who we can help. You know, I'm grateful for the readers of my Renewal Reader digital magazine, you know, for those that like trust it, the process and trust me, you know, with the magazine. And yeah, I'm grateful to have, you know, the outlets that are available to us, truly. Because if it wasn't for these outlets, we would all be lost.
You said outlet, and I feel like maybe I saw at some point you have or had a physical copy at a bookstore, at a local bookstore. Is that still happening?
Yeah, I did. I collaborated with one of our local bookshops. It's called the Bookery Coffee House. They sell coffee, they sell books, and they have a plant store next door. It's like a dream. It is truly a dream. So yeah, we collaborated. I had like a one pager of their business, and then I printed out about like 10 to 12 copies and left it there for their guests that they could just take it. And I also left like a QR code. So that was really fun. And I'm really grateful for them for, again, trusting me and giving me that opportunity because I met a lot of people that way and like chatted with a few people online just from that. So I'm always looking for those collaborations because that's how you build your community, the collaborations. That's how you know, get your work out there to reach people that need it. So
I like that you use the word collaboration and community because you're right. That's a very boots on the ground approach, and that's people walking in the door and getting their hands on it. So I love that. Congratulations.
yeah, thank you.
Okay, we love you, Angela. This was an awesome conversation. Thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for sharing so much about yourself and your journey. I know this is probably not going to be the last time we talk, and I love that we are definitely connected on the socials. So tell everybody again where they can find you.
You can reach me at Book Thoughts with Angela on Instagram, and I'll be happy to connect. Send me a DM and we'll chat some books and creativity. But thank you both for having me. It was a pleasure.
You are definitely the epitome of women supporting women. So thank you also for coming on. We like to end it where are we going to say follow or find? We go back and forth.
We've changed it 5 times,
I'll say
Angela.
follow. We go round and round. Actually, Angela, do you have a preference? Do you like follow or find? Find your breadcrumbs, follow your breadcrumbs. What do you like?
Follow. I think follow. Yeah. Because, well, I feel like they're so different.
That's why
They're
we're
different.
debating it. Like, do you find them? Are they on the ground? Do you find them moving forward? Because you do. But also you're following them moving forward.
Yeah, I feel like you find them by looking back. I don't know. That's the first thing that comes to mind. And then you're I don't know. I think follow. That's you know what you should do? You should put that in your stories and take
Okay, we'll do a poll.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, because Brittany is really good about advocating about looking back to find your breadcrumbs. Oh, go ahead, Brittany.
I was just gonna say but we have to put in why we think what it is. Because I like the way follow sounds, but then I'm like, following is just like we have no choice. We're just following a breadcrumb and we're just picking it up. But if you're finding it, you're like, oh, you have a path forward that you have to
okay. Yeah. You know what? Maybe find is it then when you say it like that. Because wait, did you see the video that I tagged you? I know you saw it because you reshared it about the journal with the woman who wrote in her journal. And this was like back in like the 80s. Yeah.
Birthday.
Yeah.
The baby's birthday.
Yes. So she used the word, like that's like her finding, right? Like she found a breadcrumb just by looking back at her journal.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, we'll do find. Now go into the week and find your breadcrumbs.
Wait, did it work?
Oh, because so bad.
No,
it's so bad. Now go into the week and find your breadcrumbs.
Did it work?
So bad.
Oh.
We may cuss, we may offend.
Maybe don't listen to this with your kids in the car. We're here to learn and laugh, not to offend.
We are not experts, so take what resonates and professional advice where needed. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
If you've loved today's conversation, subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Continue picking up the breadcrumbs by leaving us a review and sharing.
Follow us on socials. We are at Instagram at The Breadcrumb Effect, TikTok at The Breadcrumb Effect Pod, and YouTube at The Breadcrumb Effect.
Let us know your favorite episode or what you'd like to see.
Want to be a guest or know someone with a story? Fill out our guest interest form linked in our bios.
Finally, let us know if you found the hidden loaf. Until next time, keep picking up those breadcrumbs.
They're leading you exactly where you're meant to be.
Angela, I had something to say, but I have a pregnant brain right now and I kind of forgot it. But when I think of it, I'm going to interrupt y'all and I'm going to tell you because I was really thinking.
Yeah.
Man, it was a good one too. Oh, I remember. Pregnant brain alert.
They're going to know who we are.
That's right. Maybe she'll be on your podcast, you know?
Hey, we have a shoot for the stars list. Yeah. And no joke, 2 people on that have already said yes. And this is our shoot for the stars list. These are the people who are like, we're too scared to ask, but we're going to ask anyway. That's and they said yes.
Oh, I'm so happy for you. That's awesome. Yeah. I think my battery's low. Can I?
Okay. Of course.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Take your time.
It's sounding sort of mechanical. I don't know where Philadelphia is. We're in Texas. I don't know. There's a delay. I'm just going to keep talking. So, right. I'm writing a book because I always have to make things about me. Brittany knows this.
I know. It's exciting. I can't wait to read it. I think on one of your podcasts, because I listened to every episode so far. And cool. I think you like hit a certain amount of words. You both were celebrating like I love your segments. And that may have been like one of your, I don't know what you call it.
Breaking bread. Maybe.
I don't know. No.
Breaking, I think
Breaking bread. I love your segments. Yeah, I feel like carbloading, obviously. I really just wanted it to flow, you know?
Yeah. I like to flow.
It's flowing.
Can't say honestly. So I'm just doing my own thing over here.
I love it. I'm like, just interrupt. Brittany basically had to take over. And I was just like,
Right, exactly. No,
We just roll with it.
that's good though. Good teamwork.
Yes, yes. And what's so funny is like we didn't even think about that when we started this, how necessary. I mean, obviously, like it's necessary, but
Yeah, like the
no.
logistics. There's a lot of logistics too, I'm sure.
Can you hear me, Brittany?
Nope, everything froze for a minute when you said we like to end it.
Welcome back.
Damn it, we're gonna do Find Crumbs. My favorite part. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, we're still
So
in the
what I'm
story.
gonna say is, so we'll see if this works with the delay, but I'm gonna start with now go into the week, and then we're all gonna say and find your breadcrumbs. Can we do
No,
this?
you say and then we say find your breadcrumbs.
Okay.
Oh, it's not gonna work because
So let's go into the week.
Okay.
We're gonna try it anyway. Let's see if we can edit this well. Probably not.